biggest difference. Yeah, what doesn't kill you make you more resilient. So even when your world is falling down, you gotta keep ascending. Gotta keep ascending. Oh yeah, gotta keep ascending. Yeah, even at your worst, you gotta keep your vision. That's the only way that you gon' keep ascending. Gotta keep ascending. Oh yeah, gotta keep ascending. Yeah, even at your worst, you gotta keep your vision. That's the only way that you gon' keep ascending. Her pain is my pain, her struggle's my struggle.
Happy Sunday, everybody. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? I hope so. Okay, welcome to Believe Radio. Welcome to Ascending with Toni Rochelle. I am your host. This is my platform. This platform was created for wellness, for healing, for survival mechanism, for to bring peace into your life. This is what this platform is about. I'm trying to get comfortable. Let me get comfortable because I'm feeling a little tense right now. Let me get comfortable. So if y'all have been like really paying attention to me this week, y'all know I have this show every Sunday. I have this show every Sunday at 3:30 live. And most of the time I have a guest with me. Okay. But today's special guest is Toni Rochelle. I am the host today and I am the guest today. And I'm a little nervous for some reason because I don't have nobody to talk to but y'all. So y'all have to make sure y'all ask me questions. Tell me some things that you want to know about me that you may not know about me, or maybe you just want to get deeper into my business like I be getting into other people's businesses. Um, so today is a one woman show. Like I said, I created this platform. I think it's been about maybe let's see, my son is 8. I think about 6 years ago, I had a vision to start a platform where I can help people um to heal, because at the time it was a selfish reason why I started the platform. I was going through a lot of heartache, pain, suffering, um couldn't forgive myself, doubt, depression. I mean, anything that you could think of, I was going through it in the motions. And the Lord told me to start a platform where I can help people, and I thought he was crazy. I was like, why would you want me to start a platform? And I can't even help myself right now. That doesn't make any sense. I don't have the energy, the spirit to do any of that. So why would I do such a thing? And he said, well, you love the people, right? And he's like, you have a story, right? And you need to heal, right? And I'm like, yes, but how is that going to help me heal? And I didn't understand what he was trying to tell me to do. I didn't understand what I was supposed to do, but I decided to be obedient and I started this platform. Because one thing is for sure, I have a passion for people. And I'm one of them people that if you take me to the movies, I'm going to cry off of a movie because I'm going to find some kind of way to feel sorry for that person or that storyline. My kids make fun of me all the time because they like, Mommy, you cry off of every movie. I think the recent movie that we seen together was Transformers. And they like, Mom, you crying, aren't you? I'm like, yes, I am. Because I'm sentimental when it comes to people. I like to give people grace for things that they've been through, or things, or even the way that they act sometime, because a lot of people act a certain way because of the things that they have endured in their lifetime, the things that they haven't been able to get over, the things that they haven't been able to let go. And so I personally know what that feels like. That's why I created this platform, because I figured that if I listen to other people's stories and they tell me how they gotten through these tragedy things in their life, like divorce, or their house caught on fire, or they losing a job, or they finding out that their mama is their auntie, all kind of stories. And I figured, I said, you know what, if she could get through that, if he can endure that and get over that, then I can too. And it's been a blessing ever since. Now, don't get me wrong, it's been some trials and tribulations with building this platform. Um, I'm not getting paid for it. Nobody's making me do it. I'm just doing it because it's a passion. It's something that helps me. It's something that helps community. I've gotten a lot of feedback, and then the most part is that people say yes. People say yes to sit down with me and tell me their life stories and share with me how they have ascended through life. And I didn't even know what the word ascending mean. I didn't even know the meaning of it. I had never heard of it. I knew what the word descending meant, but I never knew what the word ascending meant until I looked it up. And then when I looked it up, and I looked it up under a couple of different definitions, and I realized that I have truly been ascending my entire life. Now hold on, let me go to the chat because it's blowing up. Let's see. Hi Lene. Hi girl. How did you get your start in this business? Oh, okay, so I moved to the Bay Area when I was 21. Um, I'm still 21, so don't ask me my age. And I started out modeling, and for modeling, I started out hosting a TV show called Off the Hook. Well, first I was with a station called VJ TV. Shout out to Rockefeller from VJ TV, and then from there I started with another station called RTV, which that's the platform that my TV show Ascending with Toni Rochelle is on. And I started interviewing celebrities on red carpets. Um I had a TV show called Off the Hook TV. And if y'all remember 106 in Park, it was like a miniature 106 in Park where we would show videos and do interviews with local celebrities. We would go to all the parties and have conversations and things like that. And so that was the beginning of the stages. And so from there, I actually enrolled into Laney College where I majored into theater arts. And I remember the teacher he precast me for a play. And not only did he precast me, but he precasted me for two different characters. And I was terrified, y'all. I was completely terrified because at the time I wasn't a good reader. um I wasn't a good speaker. I didn't know how to pronounce words. I didn't know how to sound words out, things like that. And I was terrified. And if you're an actor, or if you know anything about when you are precast or when you're cast into a production, you have something that's called a table reading. And you sit at the table and you read through the play, and everybody reads the character. Well, I was sweating bullets because I knew that I couldn't read. I knew that it would be a challenge for me, especially a code read. And back then, we didn't have Siri. We didn't have our phones to be asking, getting definitions right off the top. Like you literally had to go get a dictionary. But if you didn't know how to read and you didn't know how to pronounce words, that could be even harder. And so that was hard for me. And so we sat at the table, we read the script. Well, I wouldn't even say I read the script because every other word I stumbled over. And the whole time I was just ready to run out the door because I didn't want to do this. But yes, I enrolled in theater arts. And to be an actor, you got to know how to read a script. And I just went home and I went through that script and I read it 1,000 times until it resonated in my body and my soul, and I conquered it. And once I did that stage play, I was like, okay, I can do this. I can get through this. I can read. And a lot of me saying that I couldn't read was other people telling me that I couldn't read or that I wasn't on grade level and things like that. And that started because I grew up in foster care. I grew up in the foster care system in Oklahoma City. And I think I entered the system when I was 8 years old, and I aged out of the system when I was 18 years old. And during that time being into the foster care system, I moved around a lot. So moving around a lot meant that I was moving from school to school to school to school. So I missed a lot of the basic training of education. And so it's not that I was stupid or dumb. It's just that I needed a lot of help because of the things that I missed. And so that's why I say I couldn't read really well or I couldn't pronounce words really well. And if I would pronounce a word wrong and somebody would say, "What did you say?" Like that didn't make sense. And I would say my interpretation of it and they would try to correct me and I would get angry. I would get upset, because I really thought that they were making fun of me or like thought I was stupid, but people were trying to help me and I didn't understand that. So to this day, I found out that I was dyslexic. It's not that I was stupid, I was dumb, I was just dyslexic. And to this day, right now, to this very day, I go to tutoring for dyslexia every Friday for an hour. And I've been going there for about a year now. This lady heard me speak about maybe 2 years ago, and she heard me talking about how I thought I was dumb and stupid and how I didn't feel like I was educated enough. And she said, I know that you don't feel like that any longer, but I could tell that it still bothers you that you're dyslexic. And I say, yeah, it does. It really bothers me because I'm in the entertainment world, and I want to make sure I sound educated. I want to make sure I sound like I know what I'm talking about. And she was like, well, why don't you do something about it? And I'm like, well, how can I do something about it? And I'm a grown woman. I'm not going back to college. I'm not going back to school. Like, what can I do about it? And she was said, you can go to tutoring. And I said, they have something like that. They have something where you can go to tutoring for dyslexic. And she said, yes. And so just from her hearing my story, she connected me with a tutor in the Bay Area. This lady has tutored so many people. She's very patient. She's very good. And so every Friday, I go to her for 1 hour and I get tutored on being dyslexic. And let me tell you, it has really improved my speech. It has really improved my confidence. And I just feel like, you're never too old to learn. You're never too old to learn. And if it's something that you feel uncomfortable with in your life and you feel like it's something that you can't do, that you want to conquer, you can do it. It doesn't matter when you start. And I'm telling you, it feels so good. And now I love reading. I'm a writer too, so I like to write, but I love to read. And I have found myself getting lost in books. I have found myself getting excited to read the next book and the next book and the next book. And before, like, I couldn't stand reading because I couldn't do it very well. And I remember when I was younger and I used to get punished, I used to be told to go to the table and read the dictionary, read a book. And I felt like that was the worst punishment in the whole world because the people that was around me knew that that was something that I couldn't do. And it was something I didn't like to do because I wasn't very good at it. And so, like I said, I'm going to encourage you today. Like, if there's something that's lacking in your life and you feel like you can't do nothing about it, you can do something about it. And most of all, what I just told you, that's ascending. I was stagnant in that situation, and I walked out on faith and I did something about it and just, put pride into that. And so, like I said, y'all, I have been ascending through so many things when it comes to life. Um, One of the reasons why I was so down and out before I started this platform is because I went through a separation with my husband. I never wanted to get married. I never wanted to have kids, and I know that's very harsh to say, but um, I grew up in the projects. I know what it's like to be a single mom and be on welfare and raising kids alone. And that was just something that I never wanted to do. And so when I got married, and even when I got an adult, I thought that my life would be better. I was like, okay, I made it through the foster care system. Now that I'm an adult, life is going to get better. Life is going to be easy for me. I'm going to have control over my own life. So I ain't going to have to worry about nobody telling me what to do or struggles coming my way. Somebody told me wrong, right? Because trying to wish that I was an adult. Can I change that? Can I change that? I mean, I wouldn't want to change my past, but let me tell you, trying to grow up fast is not. It's not it. It's not it, baby. It's not it. Um, but no, the trials and tribulations came even more when I became an adult because I was really 100% responsible for my life, for my actions, for my choices. And to me, like, going through a divorce was like going through a death. It was like I lost somebody. It was like I lost myself. It was like, what was I going to do? How was I going to raise two children, especially in California, in Oakland, California? Um, I just didn't see how that was going to happen for me. But y'all, I ascended. I ascended through that too. Now, don't get me wrong, it still bothers me from time to time, but it doesn't have me stagnant. It doesn't have me stagnant. So I'm talking to the single parents out there. I'm talking to the ones that are widows. I'm talking to the ones that's out there that have been through a divorce or maybe even going through a divorce. It is like going through a death, but you don't have to be stagnant in that situation. You can figure out other outlets. There's always another outlet to anything that comes across us that tries to hold us down. That's what I'm learning about life. That's what I'm learning about ascending. It may not look like the way that we want it to look, but it can be in a whole nother direction. You can go through a whole nother path while you're in it, while you're going through it. And I always felt alone. Like my entire life I always felt alone. But God had always like sent little angels to be surrounded by me. I remember when I was a senior in high school, and everybody was, and I grew up in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. I think I've told y'all that several times, but for the new listeners, I'm from the OKC. Um, and I remember my senior year, everybody was getting ready to go to college. They was going to like OU or OSU or Langston or Grambling, all these colleges. And I started looking around like, well, where am I going to go to school at? Like, what am I going to do with my life? And I thought about going to the military, and but that wasn't something that I necessarily wanted to do. And so I had asked my counselor, I was like, I see that everybody getting ready for college and they getting all excited and stuff. Like, where am I going to go? And he said, Toni, you're very beautiful and you have a really good personality. You should make sure you marry rich. Now, mind you, I'm 17 years old, and this man tells me this. This white man tells me this on top of that. And I'm like, what? What? Like, what do you mean by that? Hold on, let me check the chat. Make sure that that y'all can hear me and stuff. Okay. Just want to make sure y'all can hear me. Um, he told me this, and I was devastated when he told me that because I didn't understand what that meant. I didn't know that that was something that I should be doing. Like that wasn't the right thing to tell a 17-year-old. And then I asked my caseworker the same thing. I said, everybody's going to college. What college am I going to go to? What am I going to do? And she said the same thing. And basically what they were saying is, Toni, you'll never be able to go to college. You don't have the IQ to do that. You're not smart enough. Your grade level, you're not on the right grade level. You'll never be able to keep up if you was to go to college. So I was like, wow, okay. Okay. So, when high school was over with, I went and I got a couple of jobs. I went out and got jobs, and I decided to just hustle, and figure life out for myself. And at 18, we all know that 18, you are not fully an adult. You are still a child, even though the law says that you're an adult. You can buy cigarettes, or you can do this and you can do that. You can live out on your own. No, at 18, you are still a child. You still need supervision. You still need um, someone to hold you accountable, to guide you, because you've never been on your own before. But you know, I went to college. Now I'm gonna tell the truth. I didn't complete college. I think I'm like 8 units shy away from completing college, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I did end up going to school and becoming a medical assistant, and I did fully complete that certificate. And then when I went to the when I went to the, what do you call that when you go after you get out of school, you go to the internship, I think that's what it's called. Well, I tried to draw some blood on people, and I was scared to do it. So I was like, this is not for me. I can't see blood. I can't be sticking people with needles. And so I realized that was not my field. That was not something that I wanted to do. And so I had to move on with that. But the point is that I finished. The point is that I went through it, and I was on something that was called the dean's list, and I was making A's and B's, something that I had never seen on my report card, and I was very proud and happy for myself. Why do you think it's important to be around positive people? um I think that it's important to be around positive people because you can see yourself in them. I think that positive people um, are inspirational, encouraging, and once again, just like hearing people's stories, when you see somebody doing something, especially if it's something that you want to do, you're like, oh, she doing that, he doing that, then I can do that too. And then it's just something about like positive people, positive environments, like um it makes you just want to be positive. Like, I think that when people are surrounded by positive things, then they want to be positive too. Just the same as if you're around negative things, you tend to want to do negative things. You tend to want to get out of your element of who you are. And even if someone is peer pressuring you or they're not, you seem to want to go negative before you go positive. And so I'm big on being around inspirational people. I'm big around being on making sure my environment is lit to my standards, because I ain't got time for that. I ain't got time for that. I finished. Yes, I finished, Ashley. Yes, I did. I did. Um and so yeah, that's just part of how I have ascended through this life, and how I have came through the many struggles of life. I have a couple of more questions that people are asking me. Hold on. Let me see. I got some specific questions that people are asking me. Um, Walking in your dream without help. Ooh, okay. So first of all, if you have a dream, um, believe in your dream. Can't nobody else believe in your dream but you. Even if it's the most ridiculous thing in the world, as long as it's your dream, it's your dream, and as long as you believe, it can come true. Um, as far as having a dream and without having help, I believe that if you work hard and you believe in your dream, it will come true. And when people see you living your dream, when people see you um, struggling in your dream, people will come. People will come. And they may not come at the right time when you want them to come, but it's always some type of connection when you're working hard and when you believe. But you have to have faith, you have to believe, and you have to work hard. Those are the big three things that I think when it comes to dreaming. And just do it. And just do it no matter how rough it looks, how the struggle is, like no matter what, you have to just you have to do it. Who who has been your inspiration? The Lord. The Lord has been my inspiration. Because He's always been there. He has always protected me through everything. I should have definitely been dead a long time ago. I was a runaway, so I used to hitchhike all the time, and He has protected me through that. And then, like I said, He has always put angels in my life, especially at the right time. uh, but if I really had to say someone, I really used to be inspired by Whitney Houston. I loved her so much as a kid. Like I used to wish that she was my mom. And let me tell you, you have to be careful for what you wish for, because as I was dreaming and wishing for her to be my mom, she really was my mom. Her story of her, being on drugs and, you know, um, letting life get the best of her, that was happening in my own mother's life. And so sometimes you wishing and dreaming and hoping that somebody else was something, or you thinking the green is greener on the other side. Sometimes it's just not that way, because you never know what people are going through. And so I wouldn't say I regret that, but it taught me a lesson of like just not being inspired or putting someone on a pedestal to speak. But yes, I do love Oprah Winfrey. I do love Wendy Williams, even though she, whatever people say about her. But her story is phenomenal, just as well as Oprah's story, and they have definitely ascended through some things. And the reason that I'm inspired by them is because they have succeeded on higher levels of where I'm trying to be, as far as like helping community, as far as overcoming the things that they have overcame in their own life. And so I don't idolize them, but I do get inspiration from them. I would say this. Yes, Nippy. If you're a real Whitney Houston fan, that's her name, Nippy. Okay, let's see. I have another question. Um, Being a single mom. Yes, being a single mom is hard. I would never ever suggest it. Um, I never wanted to be a single mom, and I felt like though that was something that I kind of like. And this is the blaming part that I would say that I put on my life. I felt like I kind of jinxed myself, because that was one of the reasons I never wanted to be a mom, because I had the fear of being a single mom, and that was only because that's all I had ever seen or been around, and it was something that I knew I didn't want to become a single mom. I didn't want to raise kids by myself. And I truly believe that kids should be raised in a two house home. There should be a mother and a father present to raise children because it's the hardest job. The hardest job that I have endured in my whole entire life. And there's no book, there's no nothing that someone's telling you how to do it or how to be. You never know if you're even doing the right thing or if you're making the right choices. And so I have to pray about that every day. And so being a single mom is a struggle, but it's beautiful. It's beautiful being a mother. I will say that. But if I can just keep it real, I don't like it. I personally don't like it. It wasn't something that I would have chose for myself. It's not something that I will continue to want to do. I would not advise it. I would advise when you're ready to have children from someone, make sure that you get the Carfax on that person, and like the real history, because um, it's just not cool raising kids on your own. I mean, it's hard raising myself. Like I literally had to raise myself. I really had to be patient with myself, and then bringing two kids in the factor. That's not just something that I would advise anyone to do. And I know I do. I appreciate that. I know I may make it look amazing and wonderful and fun, and those things are true. But it's hard. It's hard because I don't get to turn it on and turn it off. And I don't get to say, oh, I don't want to do this today. Like I have to constantly be a mother. And even when my children are not with me, I worry about them. I worry about them 24/7. And so I would say that single mom, the single mom business is not the business. It's not the business. But ladies, you can do it. We know a lot of phenomenal single moms, but it's not just something that I would recommend. Your ascending journey with God. Let me tell you about God. Mm, mm, mm. Me and him have had a lot of battles. It has been a lot of backslashing in my life when it comes to him. I have been angry with him. I have been dissatisfied with him. He has been confusing to me. I have said to him, why me? Um, you know, this is not something I want. Why are you having me in a situation? You're this guy, so why don't you just make everything okay right now? Like, why would you want me to go through this struggle? Like, are you even real? Like, it has been a battle. Um, and I have been hurt in the church. I have church hurt where like, you know, you think that Christians are the best people in the world or they have all the answers, but those are the people that are sometimes the most meanest, angriest, negative people that you will ever meet. And and so I'm like, it can't be no God if all this is going on. It can't be a God if little kids have cancer and people are getting ran over by trucks and COVID-19 exists and just all these tragic things in the world. And so it has been really a battlefield when it comes to God. But on the flip side, he has shown up for me. He has shown himself that he is God. I would say the best day of my life that I ever felt the presence of his spirit is when I had my son. I had my son at home in the tub. On purpose. I had a home birth. And I remember being in labor with my son for 3 days. My water never broke, but I was contracting for 3 days. And by the third day, at the time I was living in a big house with stairs, and they made me walk downstairs because I was going to deliver outside. I wanted to deliver outside and give birth with my son outside. And so I walked downstairs and I was ready. I said, come on, I'm ready, Lord. Let's push this baby out. I'm tired. Let's do it. And that baby was not ready to come out. He did not want to come. And so at this point I was frustrated. I think my water had broke finally on the third day. And so I was frustrated. And because I had a home birth, I was able to have like my family there. You know, I was still able to like eat and just do all the things I wanted to. But I was miserable by the third day. And I remember just going back upstairs to my room and I told everybody to get out. Get out, leave me alone. Don't talk to me, don't touch me, don't say nothing to me. Just leave me alone. And I was like, Lord, like, why are you doing this? Like, get this baby out of me. Like I'm tired. I'm ready to see him. Like this is too much. And I kid you not, I can't tell you what he looked like, so don't ask me. But I could tell you that he was there, and it was like he was there coddling me, like he had me in his arms and just rocking me like a baby, and told me that it was gonna be okay, that I was gonna have a healthy baby, and that it was time to push. Like I was in the room for about 45 to 50 minutes with the Lord, and it was just me, the Lord, and my baby. And I promise you, when I say I felt his spirit, it was the most, I can't really explain it. I could try to give some words to make it sound good, but it was the feeling that it left in me. It was like I got my wings, or like my power, or like uh, uh, uh I don't know. It was just the most amazing thing ever. And from that day on, I never doubted him again, even through the bad things that had came after that, even the struggles, even all that thing. I never spoke bad on him anymore after that moment. And I know there had been other times that he has been present in my life, like that present, but I didn't really I didn't really take advantage of it, or I didn't really acknowledge it. But that day, that moment, that situation, he was there with me, and I know that he was there for me, and I apologize to him for that. Like I apologized to him for that. I never doubted him again. I never forsaked him again. I was still mad at him occasionally. I still do get mad at him and frustrated with him, but I don't talk bad upon him any longer from that day forward. So it's been a struggle, but your girl has ascended through that. Okay, God, we straight. We straight. I love you. I know you the head of my life. You be making things happen. You do come on time. And yeah, that's what it is. I believe in him. And I have had some ups and downs with the journey of God. Like I wanted to be able to speak in tongues, and I finally did that in this walk. I've been able to pray for people, something that I had never done before. And I've prayed for myself for a long time, but I had never been able to really pray out loud to other people. And God allowed me to do that and really believe in that. And I've been able to read his word and really understand his word. I've been able to fast, and things have really came to life because of that fast. A lot of times I write to him, and he answers my prayers through what I write. So it's hard. It's totally hard because you can't touch him, you can't feel him. When you want him to be in the present, sometimes he's always there, but maybe you don't feel it. So it has been um descending, ascending moment with God, but he lit, y'all. So if y'all don't know him, y'all better get to know him, because he got it going on. Okay, let's see. Being an entrepreneur. Ooh, baby, baby. Being an entrepreneur has been a little struggle, because I have always worked for people, and I've always had multiple jobs. And I would say the biggest part of being an entrepreneur is just being an entrepreneur. Believing that you can be your own boss, believing in your own platform, believing in that you don't have to work for someone else. And recently, I think this was last year, I was working for Kaiser Permanente for 16 years. And when the pandemic happened, I was actually 2 weeks before the pandemic happened, I pretty much had like a nervous breakdown at work. I had some people harassing me. My boss wasn't the nice person to me, and they put me on an administrative leave. And 2 weeks later, the world shut down. Shout out to my sister Gigi that's in heaven, because I remember her calling and she was like, "You know how much the Lord loves you? He shut the whole world down for you so you didn't have to go to work." I remember her saying that to me, but when none of us knew that the world was going to shut down, we didn't know what was going to happen. And so I was off of work for the like that whole, I think maybe that whole year and a half. And then they started coming with this vaccination stuff, and telling people they had to get vaccinated. Well, for whatever reason, I wasn't getting the notifications, because for one, I wasn't at work. And so supposedly they had said that I had to get vaccinated at a certain time. And and I didn't because I wasn't getting a notification. So long story short, I got a phone call. They told me to get vaccinated. At the time, we all know what was going on in the world. It was hard to get vaccinated. Even with me working in healthcare, it was hard for me to just get an appointment. So I ended up getting an appointment, ended up getting vaccinated, and I think I got vaccinated, and then a week later I received papers in the mail saying that I was laid off. I was laid off because I didn't get vaccinated in time. Okay. So that broke my heart, y'all, because it's like I thought I was important to the company. I thought I was doing something good, and I thought I was going to retire from there. I thought that was going to be my life. And so after being laid off after 16 years, my heart was broken from that because I needed that paycheck. I needed those funds to keep rolling in like they have been rolling in. But I believe and I know deep down inside that the Lord did that. I know that He pushed me out of that organization because I would have been still sitting there doing that job. I would have been still sitting there miserable. And then, y'all, guess what? Remember when I told you I write letters to God? Okay, so I wrote this letter to God, and I wish I had it here so y'all could really believe me. But when I write my letters to God, and a coworker introduced this to me. Shout out to Keita because she introduced this to me. But on the envelope, I put to God from Toni Rochelle. Put my address there, and then I put the date. So I had actually wrote a letter to God probably prior 5 years before the pandemic happened, asking Him to remove me from that job and let me work on my own platform. Let me do the things that I love, which is acting, modeling, hosting, having my own platform. Specific things, because when you talk to Him, you have to be very specific about the things that you want, because He will get them to you eventually. And sometimes the way that you ask for those things, he won't do it in a way of you asking. So you have to be very specific when talking to that man, especially putting it on paper. So anyway, I wrote this letter, and I actually found the letter about a year ago, because I have multiple Bibles, and so for whatever reason I hadn't touched that Bible, and I found the letter. Do you know that I wrote specific things like remove me from that job, let me do this, let me do that, and so I had already asked him to do this. So I believe that he pushed me out of that organization so I can start my own business, so I can become an entrepreneur. And it has been scary. I have did the paperwork for LLCs and starting a bank account and just doing things like that. And I get scared from each step that I have to do to become to stay an entrepreneur. And you don't make a lot of money when you start when you start your business. You actually do things incorrectly. You don't know what you're doing unless you have a mentor or other people telling you what to do. It's been a struggle, but I could call it mine. I could say, oh, I have my own business, and not that it may be thriving or may be this big business that everybody know, but it's mine. And so the flip side of that, I say congratulations to myself, and I say that if you want to become an entrepreneur, you can do it. It's gonna be heartache. It's gonna be failures. It's gonna be confusing because it's all this paperwork and all this language that you don't know, but you can do it. And so, yeah, I'm still struggling in that field. So whoever want to help me, whoever got some pointers, holla at your girl one time, because I'm still trying to get to those levels, and I believe that it's going to happen. So I'm not worried. Um, Life lessons that I've learned. Ooh, let's see, where do we begin? Life lessons that I've learned. For one, you got to know yourself. You got to know who you are. You got to really sit with yourself, and you have to know your triggers. You have to know the things that make you happy. Um, you have to have values and beliefs, and you have to have goals. And you really have to work within all those things. And once you really know who you are as a person, then I feel like you can live more. You can live better. You can live the life that you want. And it's a challenge because I feel like you change. You change because at first you may be like, oh, I want this. I want to be like this. I want to do this. I want to do that. But then as you get older, or you start to see things differently, you like, ooh, I changed my mind. I don't want to be around that person. I don't want to do this. These are not the things I wanted. It's kind of like, okay, you remember in high school we had to have all the Jordans. We wanted all the Jordans. Well, if somebody would have told me every time you bought a pair of Jordans, if you would have saved that money and put it in a banking account, you could have been your money could have been growing while you was in high school. That would have made me more happy. Like, so basically what I'm saying is the things that were important before are not the same things that's going to be important when you keep living. And so that's a life lesson that I've learned. Another life lesson I would say is that you should not allow everyone to have access to you. Remember that you're a jewel, that you're a diamond, and not everybody deserves to have access to you. And what I mean by that is because we all get hurt. You know, people perceive who they are and say they're one thing and they're not. Because it's just in real life, it's people out there that just really want stuff from you that they have no business trying to come for you for. Um, and so I would say, you know, don't just believe what people say all the time. Like, really get to, just like you got to get to know who you are. Really do your research of who you're hanging out with, who you spending your time with, who you confide in. And by doing that, I would just say pray about it first. If new people come into your life or new situations come into your life, just pray about it. Like, Lord, is this person good for my life? You know, is this situation good for my life? Is even like my girl Ashley that's on the chat right now. She said to me, I remember her saying, I even prayed to God and asked God what I should wear. And I like that. I like when you had told me that, because it's like sometimes it's to the nitty gritty. Lord, should I be eating this? Because later on, my stomach is gonna be hurt. Like, you can literally ask him for anything, and he will tell you. You know, give you discernment around food, people, places, things, what you should be doing if you're on the right path. Like, those are the kind of life lessons that's important. And another thing about life lessons that I learned is that you're gonna go up and you're gonna go down and you're gonna go down and you're gonna go up. And that things will never always be the same. Things will, as bad as things look in your life or feel in your life, it's not gonna always be like that. You're not always gonna be trying to make a dollar out of 15 cents. You know what I mean? You're not gonna always be young. You're not gonna always have that energy that you once had. You may not even always have those friends that you used to hang out with. You and just like I was saying earlier about how, like, your beliefs and benefits and things like that change. Like, at first we admired Jordans, you know, we admired this and we admired that, but then once we got older, we realized, oh, that wasn't even important to me. I wish somebody would have told me I should have got rental houses when I was younger, because I would have been invested in some rental house, some rental property. You know what I mean? Like, things like that, cuz that is equity. That is generational wealth in your family. I wish somebody would have told me something like that. Um but other thing about life lessons is that you just keep learning. You keep learning all the time. And one thing about being a mom, I learn a lot through my children, believe it or not. I sit there and I just look at them and I stare and I'm like, wow. Like, things just come to me. You know, things just come to me. And yeah, real relationships. And I believe, you know how they say, me and my other sister was talking about this, about true love, right? Most of us think if we're a woman, we're supposed to have a man and that's our true love. If we're a man, we're supposed to have a woman and that's our true love, and all that other stuff that come in the middle, right? But I really believe that you can have a true love with a friend too. You know, that may be your and I mean, just like on a friendship level. Like like I know my true love is Jesus Christ. You know, I know that that's my true love, because that's the person that never leaves me, forsakes me, leave me hanging, always providing for me, um, always protecting me. But I also believe that relationships that you have with friends and cousins, like, you might have a cousin and y'all may be cousins, but y'all like sisters. You know, you may have a brother that y'all bond is so strong, like, you love the heck out of your brother. You know, and so I've learned that, you know, relationships are so important. I value relationships. I value people's words and their time. Like, I ain't got time to be wasting nobody's time, and I don't want nobody wasting my time. And what I mean by that, I mean about being on time to the party. I do mean that, being on time for the celebration or whatever. But what I mean by time is that don't be in my life playing around. Don't say you my friend. Don't say that you my sister and you really not you really not my sister. Hey, best friend, she on the line. You must have heard me speaking about this. But for real, don't be on here talking about you my best friend and you my sister and you really not. Like, you wasting my time, and my time is valuable. And so I've learned that. Like, I don't waste people's time. Like, I'm not gonna just tell you, oh, that's cute, and it's not cute. You wasting my time. No, 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 no. We're not doing that. And so, yeah, those are, I mean, what I could think of from the top of my head. Those are like the real significant life lessons that I've learned. I've learned that you're gonna get hurt um over and over again, even by your own family, even by the person that's closest to you. You know, I've learned that. I learned that, like I said, situations don't always stay the same. You up and then you down and you up. Um, Even the people that you've trusted a long time and that, like, oh no, we've been friends since the third grade and she would never. Yes, she will. Because people are selfish. People are selfish, and uh people put themselves first before they think about the next person. And so I forgive people and I have grace for people, and I realize that, forgiving is a powerful thing, because not forgiving someone, it brings more hinder to your life. I talked about it last week. Excuse me. I talked about it last week how my friend Donald Lacey forgave his the guy that murdered his daughter. You know, um, Here I am, been thinking that I've been forgiving people, and just today, I was at Sprouts, and this lady, I was literally trying to back in because I be, trying to do my gangster park. I be trying to back in. I don't like parking forward. And so she did not have no patience for me. She had no patience for me to back in. And so my first thought was like, I'm about to get out this car and go ask her, why you didn't let me back in all the way? The store ain't going nowhere. Like, I literally was walking her direction to go say that to her. And I said, Toni, walk into the store. Walk in the store and go get the rice that you came here to get. Like, why did my mind just go so negative so quickly because of what she just did to me? There wouldn't have been no benefit of me going up to her telling her what she just did, the reason she made me mad. And I don't know, she might have been in a hurry. I don't know why she did what she did, but I had to forgive her. I had to forgive her that quickly, because that's what the Lord does to us when we sin every day and we make mistakes every day and we be out of control, out of character, and He forgives us just like that. And the thing is that you have to consciously be aware of who you are, what you doing, why things occurring, because a lot of times things that happen around you it don't even have nothing to do with you. You know what I mean? Like, if someone is treating you wrong or saying something to you wrong, it half the time it ain't because they really mad at Toni. They mad at their own situation. They mad at something that they haven't been able to get over. And a lot of times they want to take it out on you because they don't have nobody else to take it out on. That's what I've learned about bullies and people that just, because I got a lot of people that love me. And then I got some haters, y'all. I got some real life haters. And I'm like, Lord, I never even did nothing to them. I didn't steal their money. I didn't steal their dog. I didn't do nothing to them. So why did this lady hate me so much? And I had to come to realize, that you haven't did nothing to this person. You don't even know this person for this person to be mad at you. So it's something within them. It's something within them that they haven't worked out. And so we have to remember that we have to forgive people, because a lot of people haven't did the work on themselves. They haven't even acknowledged that they have a problem. You know, they're just going and going and going and not really healing from whatever it is they healed from. And that could be a curse on your life, because you walking around bitter and mad at people and making bad uh, decisions and things like that because of whatever has occurred in your life. And it could be something that somebody think that they're over with. I remember somebody saying, Oh yeah, my dad died, and I'm over it. I'm past that. But then that person got into a relationship with someone and realized, you know what? I'm mad because my dad is dead. He left me. Like he did this to me, and I need him to be here. He didn't walk me down the aisle. I can't call him. And then you realize, bam, I'm not even mad at him. I'm mad at my dad. I'm hurt because my dad is not here. So we really have to have a cautious mind and be intentional about what we're doing, what we're saying, what the situation is. And I'm not saying just be like, oh, just letting people run over you. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is don't hate people. Don't let people hold you back because of the way they acting. Main thing that you can do for people is just to pray for people. What you say? Good job being aware in the moment. Yes, thank you. I have been intentionally working on um being aware of what I say, what I do, how I think, how I move, who I'm around, what I eat, all of those things. And like I said, once you decide to be intentional, once you make that decision to yourself, that promise to yourself, it will start to come naturally. It will start to come naturally to you. It's a job. It's a job to be that way. But I feel like that you can do it. I appreciate y'all today. Y'all are in the chat asking questions. Y'all in my business. Y'all chiming in. I see some new people that haven't been on the live before. It makes me happy. Having an audience that feels like y'all here with me. Today I was like really nervous. I was like, I ain't got nobody to talk to in the studio. I know the Lord gonna be there, but I need somebody to talk to. And and a couple of people was like, you should just tell your story and you should just talk to the people. And I didn't know how y'all was gonna react to that today. So I appreciate y'all being here with me on this Sunday live and asking me questions and chiming in, giving your comments. Because the thing about it is that we all need somebody. We cannot live this life without no one. It takes a support system to have people to hold you accountable, to pray for you, to cook for you when you sick. You know what I mean? To um just be a listening ear or all kind of things. And so we again we have to be cautious around the people that we have around us. And people, I don't, okay, this might sound harsh, but we all got to be beneficial to each other. And I don't mean using one another in that kind of capacity, but I'm just saying using one another as that's my prayer partner. That's my girl who I'm gonna call when I might need to just scream in her ear because she's gonna allow me. That's my person that's gonna come clean my house when I just can't do it. That's my person that's gonna get my kids because I trust her with my kids because she's good with kids. Like just it's levels to this life. It's levels to this life. And trying to be bad and bougie and thinking that you can do it by yourself out here, you can't do it by yourself. And then when you're doing things for each other, it always comes back around. It always comes back around. And sometimes you don't have money to pay a friend or this and this and that. And real friends, real people that have your back, they don't always want money. They might want your time. They might want a trade for something. And that it goes back to that relationships that I was talking about earlier. Like you have to build solid and honest and authentic relationships with people, and you know who you can call when you need that prayer. You know who you can call to go pick up your kids. You know who you can call to ask for medical situations. Because being a woman, let's talk about being a woman. Being a woman is hard. Our bodies go through the changes and emotions and stuff and all kind of stuff. And I know this is a little bit too TMI, but I'm gonna just say it because we being real right now. Who told you about when you started your period? Who told you about having discharge in your underwear? You need that girlfriend that you need to call and be like, girl, what is this? Why does this look like that? Like you need that. You need those type of relationships. And some friends you may not be able to get undressed in front of them because they may feel intimidated or they may feel uncomfortable. But you have those friends. You have certain friends for certain things. But those are relationships. They take you raggedy. They take you when you at your high, when you at your low. They know who you are. You can speak a certain way and not offend that person. And so, that's why this platform is created, is for us to all be together, to have inspiration, to have support, to just know that you're not alone. When you hearing someone else's story, a lot of us have some of the same stories, but we've been through our similar stories, but we got through it a different type of way, you know. And so it's important to have community. It's important to have this platform to hear the stories, hear the trials and tribulations of things that you've been through and how you have overcame them. I just believe that's really important. It's just like when we watch movies or we listen to music and we relatable to that music or that movie or whatever. It's real life. And the one thing that we all have in common is that life shows up. It don't have an agenda. It don't have an appointment. And sometimes when it comes, it's knocking down your door. I mean, literally knocking down your door when you was just up, and then here you go. Here, somebody done died. Here you go. You done lost your job. Here you go. Here's a sickness. Here you go. The kids is acting out. Here you go. You ain't got nowhere to lean on. Here you go. You're embarrassed. Here you go. The car didn't broke down. I mean, life just keeps going and going, and it just keeps shutting stuff down. And it just makes you feel emotional and overwhelmed and angry and mad and frustrated. But for some reason, somehow we have to believe, we have to have faith, we have to push ourselves, we have to keep going, we have to be in community and have that sister and say, sister, I'm about to fall. I need you to catch me. Brother, I need you to handle this week. Cousin, where you at? Life just shows up, y'all. It shows up. It acts a fool. It don't have permission. You know, it takes us out of character. But remember, this platform right here, come here for inspiration. Come here for wellness. Come here for community. Come here to get some healness. And come here so you ain't lonely. Because we all going through life. I don't have a job, y'all. I haven't had a job in a whole year. And God has been making a way. When I say I've been robbing Peter to pay Paul, y'all probably don't know what I'm talking about because y'all life ain't showing up like that for y'all. Y'all don't know what I'm talking about when you got to transfer money from one account to another account to pay this and then put it back. Y'all don't know nothing about that. But that's what be happening in my life. And every day I decide to wake up, show up, try to look good, you know, and be the very best that I can be of myself. And that's my story, y'all. That's who I am. I'm Toni Rochelle, aka Pretty Toni, and I am struggling, but I am hustling, and I believe, and I have doubts, but I still keep going no matter what. And I get inspiration just about every week from at least one person, even if it's a stranger, through a smile, through a hug, through a phone call, through a comment. But I'm grateful for y'all. I appreciate y'all supporting this platform. I appreciate y'all reaching out to me. I appreciate all the inspirational words that y'all give to me. I love y'all. Y'all keep going, keep pushing yourself. Don't let life tear y'all down. Don't let it tear you down and tear you up. And if it do, just go ahead and let it do that for a minute and get your butt back up and hustle harder and believe harder and have more faith and just love yourself. Be your own fan, be your own cheerleader. And again, if you feel like you can't even have the strength to do that, watch this platform, Ascending with Toni Rochelle. Until then, I love y'all. Peace. Be good to yourself. Keep ascending. Peace.
Ascending. Oh, yeah. Gotta keep ascending. Yeah. Even at your worst, you gotta keep your vision. That's the only way that you gonna keep ascending. Her pain is my pain. Her struggle's my struggle.